Доброго дня, шановні колеги. Раді вітати вас в Українському медіа-центрі. Запрошуємо.
Dear colleagues, we give the floor to Oleksander Motuzyanyk, Presidential Administration spokesman on ATO-related issues. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. And now the information on the situation in the ATO area during the last 24 hours is to your attention. Despite the deterioration of the situation at the front line during the last 24 hours, there were no casualties among Ukrainian servicemen. Military actions continued during 24 hours. The enemy rarely uses heavy weapons. In Lugansk area, the enemy focused on the front line between Nizhny Teplo-Shastye. Traditionally, the enemy fire was delivered from the right bank of Seversky Donetsk River. There was also one instance of the use of 120 millimeter mortar, and also the front line between Novotashkivske-Zhelobok at Bakhmutitska highway, the enemy used 82 millimeter mortar once. Donetsk area. The enemy fired at our positions near Svetlodarsk Bulge, Lugansk and Troitsk. They fired both at night and during the day. Also, the enemy snipers were active in this area. In the northern suburbs of Gorlovka, the enemy continues to fire at our positions at Zaitsevo and Mayorsk. One of the unit of the enemy is deployed in a building of school. As Putin told them, the militants will stand behind people, not in front of them. Ukrainian soldiers disregard provocations and do not return fire. SMMOCE confirmed that the militants turned the school in Zaitsevo in their base. And in the western suburbs of Gorlovka, there were several provocations. This was non-precision fire, but there was also a firing incident. The enemy sniper was active for an hour. The epicenter of military action is near Donetsk airport. In the front line between Avdiivka and Pisky, half of all violations happened there. The biggest strength of the occupants is concentrated in the territory of ruined Donetsk airport and nearby cemetery. In Mariupol area, the enemy was the least active. There were two firings with small weapons in Krasnogorovka, two in Granitny. And all these, in all cases, this was precision fire. National police continue to counteract subversive actions. Police officers patrolled the streets and they searched for wanted persons. They checked vehicles and verified documents. They detained a man who worked for DPR and was responsible for oil and gas supplies. And also they detained a militant. He was detained by National Guard and was handed over to police. This happened in Kamyshuvacha in Popasnyansky region in Luganshina. SBU also forced to lay arm of one militant used the program They Wait for You at Home, and this man he came to Ukrainian law enforcement officers and surrendered. Ukrainian paratroopers greeted the children with St. Nicholas Day and paratroopers had a double celebration. They celebrated the anniversary of their military unit, and they also commemorated the heroic deeds of their comrades. Rotation continues in the ATO area. More than 25 field engineers returned to Kamenetsk-Podilsk, and they carried out responsible tasks. They demined the area in the east of our state. And they carried out actions in Svatovo. Do you have some questions or comments? Oleksander, you said that number of firing incidents increased. So 63 firing incidents were observed during the last 24 hours. And many factors can influence. And this is an indicator that witnessed that the militants try to force the Ukrainian side. For example, before international meetings or meetings of trilateral group, we know that the militants shell Ukrainian positions in order to use their weapons, their ammunition, and to get a new batch of ammunition from Russian Federation, and also to train and to use the facilities and equipment that is provided. You said that there was no return fire from Ukrainian positions. When precision fire is carried out at our positions, the commanders should return fire and to provide security of our servicemen. But we should take into account that if the fire is from Zaitsevo, for example, from the settlement where peaceful residents live, so our servicemen do not return fire in such cases. So who decides when they can return fire? Each commander at the front line, they have the order, and the commanders at place, they take decisions on taking actions. They are obliged to fire in return if the subversive groups approach our positions, or they try to attack, or if militants deliver precision fire. In these cases, the commanders give orders to return fire. And in the internet, there was a video of echelons loaded with tanks that are near the territory of the state border of Ukraine. Is there any evidence about it that they want to deliver this equipment to Ukraine? There is information that Russia provides support of the militants, and we follow this information. We know about it. It is analyzed, and it's difficult to foresee the actions of the militants, but our goal is to create strong positions and if the militants are active, we will hold the line and we will return fire. And they said that one of the militants' commander was killed. What were the reasons? What happened? The information is the same. Ukrainian side, we always observe what happens among the militants, but we know that there are many quarrels among the militants, and the Russian Federation control the processes. They try to calm them down, the militants' commanders who are not obedient to Moscow. And this is the result of internal tensions among the militants and among them and the Russian curators. Do you have other questions or comments? Thank you.